G'day folks and welcome to Nights of Wine TV. I'm your host Brandon and this is our co-host Billy. This, my friends, is the Thunder Down Under show, the most passionate wine show on the internet. Billy's gagged tonight because of our show last night. We couldn't get through our Taste Buds episode because he was being too naughty, so we've had to muzzle him a little bit tonight. So in order to get on with the show, it's only going to be a short one tonight. We just want to give you a little bit of a background on the taste buds. Now what we've got is we've got a tongue in our mouth, of course, and our tongue is something like that. Now that's the back of our throat, here, and this is the front of the tongue. Now I hope you can see that okay. Now we've got different points on our tongue where we'll taste the sugars, salts, acids and bitters, or sour if you like, but acid in wine. So the first one here we're going to look at is the sugar, which is tasted right on the tip of the tongue. Now what you can do is you can get some glasses, you can put some sugar and water, some salt and water, some lime or lemon into a little bit of water, and you can use some tonic water, coffee or tea for the bitters. Now, one thing about tasting, you can basically only taste five flavors in your mouth, in your palate, and those are those things plus an extra one which is called savoury, which they've only just sort of brought out now, or discovered later on that there is that extra sort of dimension. Now, when you do taste it, you'll notice that as soon as you put sweetness to your tongue, you'll taste it right on the tip of your tongue. Now you will also taste it through your mouth as well, but that's where it's prominently based, and it becomes more evident when you taste, let's say, the lemon. You know, when we have a lemon in our mouth, you know how it squeezes up and your eyes go all tight and everything like that. Now lemon can do that to you, and you'll notice that if you keep it in the front of your tongue, nothing will happen. As soon as it gets to these parts of your tongue, that's where you cringe up. Now salt is tasted in these areas, in the frontal areas here. So you got your sweet just on your tip, your salty area, and then of course your sour area. And right here, just before it goes down your throat, you've got a bitter palate that will taste the bitters. Now the bitters in a wine are the tannins which are found in the skin. So when they squash the grapes, the more they squish those skins to get the last bits of juice out, that's where the tannins come from. So in winemaking, which we're not going to go into now, and I'll hardly be the one to be able to talk about those things to you, but in the skin, you've got the tannins. So when they're trying to squish all the juice out of the grape and they push too much tannin, that's where you're going to get an unbalanced wine, and you're going to taste it and go, Now tannins or bitters are felt like on that. You know, if you put a tea bag in your mouth, you would feel that dryness on the top. You know, that's where you find your tannins. Now, going back to your sour or your lemons or your limes, those flavors, or in wine we call it the acidic side of the wine. That's a fresher flavor. So when you balance that bitter taste with the acid, you're going to get a fresh flavour. Now, if you can get the sweetness of the grape and the fruit coming through in the wine, you're going to get a good balanced wine. Now, salt isn't found in wine, but it probably creates some sort of differences or flavours there, but essentially there's no salt in wine. So basically you focus on those three flavours, but salt, your palate does detect salt. Now if you're a salty person, like myself, if you like a lot of salt on your food, and people say, oh, you like a little bit of food with that salt? Now, the reason for that is your tolerance for salt goes up because you've got it in all your fluids in your body. So you need more salt to taste that salt. So and that would be the same with sweetness. If you're a sweet tooth and you eat a lot of sweet things, when you go to taste a wine, you might need a wine to be a lot sweeter for you to enjoy the fruits in that wine. Now, we're not going to go into super tasters and that sort of now, but there are a different amount of taste buds in your mouth. Now, if you zoomed in with a microscope and you brought up a spot like the size of a punch hole in a piece of paper, and you counted all the taste buds with a magnifying glass, you'll find that different people have different amounts of taste buds in that area, and they've worked out now that if you've got less than 10 or 12, or if you've got more than 15 to 20 to 30, you're either a limited taster or you're a super taster. Now, some people are super tasters, and those are probably the wine judges and those sorts of things. So, one more thing I want to mention when you're testing these different palates. Now, just quickly, take a little sip if you've made up some flavors for yourself, and when you take the sip, just see where you prominently feel those flavors, and you're going to know where to concentrate the wine in your mouth to see if it's fruity. You know, you're not going to roll it in the backs there and say, is it fruity? You'll dip your tongue into the wine in the front palate. So tickle the tongue in the beginning there. Salt, well, we don't want to concentrate on that too much, but you can also have a little sniff and now that's horrible. I had a glass of water here to clean my palate the other day, but I'll use the lemon to do that. Now the lemon's an interesting one because when you put it in your mouth, keep it in the front to start with, and then roll it to the back, and you'll feel it when it gets to these taste buds over here in the back sides of the tongue. Your mouth squeezes up. You can feel it pinching in as it goes. Now, bitters are an interesting thing. Bitters in evolution are designed to stop us from eating poisons, right? Now, that's why we can't take a lot of bitters, and there's a very minute amount of bitters in, let's say, tonic water or anything that we have that's bitter, because it's actually poisonous to us. So is alcohol in moderation, you know, it gives us a nice little feeling. But now bitters, when you roll it through the fronts of your mouth, we're out of time, but when you roll it through the fronts of your mouth, you'll feel it as it gets to that point in the back of the mouth that you can taste those bitters. So that's where you will test the tannins of the wine to sort of see. And you can definitely see, or you can feel in your mouth, those flavours where they actually trigger off those taste buds. So thanks, Billy, for being so still and so quiet tonight. But we'll call that an evening because yesterday was a bit of a washout with him carrying on the way he was. And so with that in mind, folks, together we're going to change the wine world, whether they like it or not.